We are approaching the midway point of the preseason, so if you are excited for the Falcons home opener of the preseason, make sure to like today's video. If you're going to the game, or if you're just excited to see the Falcons play against the Bengals, hit that thumbs up button. What's going on, everyone? Welcome into Falcons Today. Coming up on this show, we are going to break down the latest Falcons injury news, along with some other news and notes from training camp, getting ready for their Week 2 preseason matchup. So let's get started with the latest on the offensive line, as center Drew Dalman is back at practice today. That's very encouraging to see. The Falcons have had a little bit of injury problems so far with the offensive line, specifically just Matt Hennessy and Drew Dalman. So to get one player back, that's really important because, like I've said for a long time, this team will go as far as their offensive line takes them. So you want to get some good chemistry with that starting five up front and with the new leading backer in Bijan Robinson. I think it's key for that starting offensive line to get as many reps together as possible, build that chemistry, just know without even having to look who's going to pick up that blitzer, know whose strengths and weaknesses are what, and that just comes down to repetition and time, and so you need those reps as much as possible. Matt Hennessy is currently the starting left guard, but he is dealing with an injury, which has allowed Matthew Bergeron, the rookie out of Syracuse, to get some reps and get some time in at left guard. But having Hennessy and Dalman out at the same time was kind of brutal because I know it's just training camp and preseason, and as long as everyone is healthy when Week 1 comes around, who really cares? Well, if you notice that this team gets off to a bit of a slow start up front and the guys in the trenches are good but not maybe great or elite like I want them to be and like I think they can be, well, you could possibly attribute that to not having the chemistry down in the training camp and preseason because 2 out of your 5 starters were missing some time. But it's good to see Dalman come back, and if Hennessy is going to be this team's starting left guard Week 1, hopefully he comes back as well. But be honest with me, are you concerned about the Falcons' offensive line? Type C for concern, type F for fine. I'm not concerned right now. I'm not reaching for the panic button. But if we get towards the 3rd week of the preseason and they're still missing 20 to 40% of their starting O-line, yeah, I think there is a reasonable cause for concern because this team's DNA is in their offensive line. It is the nucleus of this offense because you can have all the great running backs you want, but if the guys up front aren't creating any holes, well, you're not going to go anywhere in the ground game. And then if you're not going to go anywhere in the ground game, you definitely don't want to lean on second-year quarterback Desmond Ridder too much and ask too much of him because that's not what his role is in this offensive system. Now, some other injury news to share with you guys here. Some players that missed practice, Jeff Okudah and Mike Hughes, Cornell Armstrong, all corners missing some time. It's great to see that Clark Phillips is back out there. You've got Matt Hennessy missing time still, LaColby Tucker, another lineman, Cordarrelle Patterson. The guy's just an older vet. They're going to miss some time. They're going to run into things, and teams are going to be cautious with them. Ogundeji, the second-year player, or third-year player now, actually, out of Notre Dame. We'll talk about him in just a moment. Taquan Graham, defensive lineman, and then Joe Gaziano, another defensive lineman. 9 players altogether who missed some time. Now, Calais Campbell, who was on the non-football injury list to start camp and then worked his way back during the joint practice with the Dolphins, he walked off from the practice field today with an injury. He is a vet. I mean, he has been around the sun more than enough times to know what he needs to do to be ready for Week 1 of the regular season. And as a defensive lineman, sure, there are some stunts and, schemes and whatnot that your coach is going to draw up. But at the end of the day, it's put your hand in the ground, see quarterback, get quarterback. So for Campbell, I just want to make sure he is ready to roll when Week 1 comes about. Now, Joe Patrick also adding to this, saying that Campbell jogged off the field after a team rep holding his lower back. He's now being looked at by trainers on the sideline and stretching something out. We are 26 days away from Week 1 of the regular season. This doesn't seem uber serious, so I'm not saying shut it down completely, but let's keep in mind that Campbell is not some first or second year player who valuably needs these reps to get up to NFL game speed. Calais Campbell knows what offensive linemen in the NFL are like. We just need to get him ready for Week 1. So if that means bubble wrapping him for a little bit, by all means, go to the UPS store, get some bubble wrap art, and make sure it happens. Now, unfortunately, we do have some more serious injury news to report on. Josh Kendall from The Athletic tweeted out Arthur Smith on Ade Ogundeji, ankle and foot. Got to get another opinion. We'll just have to see. We'll know more tomorrow. It can be complicated. You need to get multiple opinions. This one is a bit more concerning. Getting a second opinion means the first opinion wasn't a very good one, or at least a good outcome. So it sucks to see for the former Notre Dame Fighting Irish player. Last year, he played about, I want to say 50% of defensive snaps. He had 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, a former 5th-round pick that has been more than just a special teamer for Atlanta, especially when you look at the Falcons' linebacker depth chart. You've got Bud Dupree, who has missed time over the last few seasons with the Tennessee Titans. Lorenzo Carter is just sort of coming on, but at the same time, it's not like Carter is a completely dependable player. Ebiketie, I hope, takes a big leap his second year, but we can't bank on that necessarily. So outside linebacker is definitely going to be a committee position, so you need all the horses you can get, including Ogundeji. So if you love the Falcons, make sure you subscribe, because we are going to get you guys all of the latest injury news, all training camp and preseason long. So if you're looking for a Falcons YouTube channel to include in your rotation, consider subscribing down below. Plus, it's completely free. Now, I also ask that you consider joining our sportsbook partner here at Chat Sports, BetUS. Chatsports.com/BetFalcons. Enter promo code Falcons125, and you get a 125% deposit bonus. Now that I've got that BetUS read out of the way, let's talk NFC South odds for a moment, because the Saints at plus 125 could not be worse value. The Saints suck. I mean, just hear me out for a second. Dennis Allen is their head coach. I think too many people that have smart brains are forgetting that Dennis Allen was just kind of handed the coaching job after Sean Payton walked away and they didn't have a great plan of successor. Dennis Allen is not a good coach. That team lost more games than they won last season. I don't see a reason to believe that they are going to be dramatically better. Oh, sure, they added Derek Carr. Was he a proven winner with the Vegas Raiders? No. So the Saints, I am not buying into whatsoever. The Falcons at plus 200. Seems like pretty good value to me right there when you look at the fact that they have the best offense in my eyes. I mean, the best offensive line, the best ground game, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. Anyone could play quarterback and get that team to more than enough wins to win the division. Plus, defensively, they have been the talk of training camp across all 4 teams here. Give me the Falcons plus 200 to win the NFC South. And you can make those bets too at chatsports.com/betfalcons. Promo code Falcons125. Moving on here, talking about the defense here, I'm getting a little bit concerned about the cornerback room. And I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it, but this cornerback room is definitely a spot where they made a lot of investments in, right? And you still have some players who are going to be in line for big roles on this team out with injuries. Jeff Okudah, Mike Hughes, Cornell Armstrong. It's one thing if you lose Jeff Okudah for the rest of preseason, like he kind of needs these reps. He's not in that Calais Campbell tier, right? He has missed a lot of time in his NFL career. But to then lose his backup and then his backup and Mike Hughes and Cornell Armstrong makes me a bit uneasy about the Falcons cornerback room. This secondary has to be synchronized, especially when you play a zone defense, which I believe they are going to be doing. The lack of reps together could be a bit concerning because it's going to lead to some miscommunications, right? Where if you're playing a cover 2 defense and your cornerback's going to sit towards the line of scrimmage, well, the safety and the rest of the secondary have to know that wide receiver, he's going on a go route, that his initial corner is not going to go step for step for him. You don't want to have a blown player and a wide open player in coverage because your defense didn't get those valuable reps together throughout the 6 weeks of July and August going into September. So for me, I want to see this cornerback room get healthy soon. Of course, you don't want to rush Okudah back too soon or something like that, but hopefully you can get players like Phillips and, Cornell Armstrong and Hughes back on the field sooner rather than later so that most of the starting guys are on the same page if you don't have Okudah for week 1 of the regular season. So make sure we send some good vibes out to the CBs and ATL. Like the video down below. Help get them healthy. I can't guarantee that liking the video is going to be like a trip to the doctor for these guys, But I can almost guarantee you this much. These players name search, and they want to see that Falcons fans are supporting them during the dog days of training camp and preseason when it is hotter than hell out there. So hit that thumbs up button, and let's get these guys back to 100%. So Rolly is trying to tell me he won yesterday's draft based on the numbers below. Okay. So he's got the lead. Sorry. It's 11-10.
Yeah.
And we got a fun draft today. I'm excited for it. We are going to do fast food value menu items. And my first one, I went with the Frosty. So we're not doing like just dollar menu necessarily, but just on the lower budget end of things. If I'm in a Wendy's drive-thru, it's going to be about a 75% chance of the time I go, at the end of my order, let's just toss in a Frosty. Give my French fries something to dip in on my drive home. So I'm going to go Frosty with my 1-1.
Yeah, with my first pick, second overall, I went the McChicken. I feel like this is the founding father of value menu items, so you can't go wrong with a nice little McChicken from McDonald's.
Okay, moving on to my second overall selection, I went Cinnamon Twist. It is an absolute staple of the Taco Bell menu. So Cinnamon Twist, whether you are like going to Taco Bell after your 7th grade class ends or whatever, it's just a great time, no matter age or wherever, to get some Cinnamon Twist incorporated.
Yeah, I'll stay at Taco Bell at 2 in the morning, and I raise you cheesy roll-ups. I mean, it's just such an easy little thing to add on to the menu. You got your burritos, maybe your tacos. You know what? I'll take a nice little cheese rolled up in a tortilla as well.
This was one that I loved in college, and that is a cookout corn dog. I am a sucker for a corn dog. Fun fact about me, if a corn dog is on the menu, I am ordering it no matter what. I'm not saying it's in replace of my order. It's an adjacent to my order because corn dogs slap. Corn dogs, Jackie. So cookout corn dog, always had to get that with my cookout tray.
I went with BK Burger King onion rings. Maybe it's a hot take, but they're just an easy little dollar piece. So you want a little side. They're not horrible. Just nice little value menu item to add to something else you get at Burger King. I like the onion rings.
That's a solid infield single. My 7th pick, or the 7th overall pick, I went with the McDouble. I kind of looked at my menu here, and I thought, I've got the dessert, I've got the side piece, we've got a corn dog in my right hand. Let's get a McDouble in there as well. It's unbelievable that this is just $1 or $2 from McDonald's. So, yes, I had to go with the McDouble.
Yeah, and I needed a dessert to add to my little group here, and I went with the Dunkin' $1 donuts. And they're not always $1, but sometimes they are. So when they're on that value menu and on that massive deal, Dunkin' Donuts, you can get it in the morning, you can get it in the afternoon. Donuts always play well with everyone, and you can just get them for nice and cheap. I love the Dunkin' Donuts.
So let us know who had a better draft down in the comment section, Petey or Rolly. Thanks so much for tuning in. Subscribe if you love the content we are putting out here. The more subscribers we get, the more studio space we can have. And that means more videos and watch parties and fun things like that. So help us grow our channel by subscribing down below.